again, I say friends, because when you're talking about sports, you are among friends, unless you're a Knick fan playing the San Antonio Spurs. Anyway, because on those occasions, it's war. Well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Tune in to John Sports Corner. And we're going to take you down the road where friends meet and talk about sports. Again, thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for those great comments you make about some of the things that's taking place in the world of sports. And again, let me say welcome. And let me turn you over to the host of our program, John Sports Corner, none other than the honorable member of the First World Cricket Hall of Fame, the Honorable John Melbourne. And over to you, John.
Thank you so much, Trevor. And good afternoon, family and friends locked into John Sports Corner. Thank you for visiting and staying with our global weekly update on the SosoBone Media Network, the global Caribbean media capital. Also, thanks for subscribing. You know, it is so important that you subscribe. Let me also remind you, you go to Winner Circle Radio Store in the SosoBone shop and go gift shopping. Among the items in the shop, backpacks, tote bags, mugs, T-shirts, cereal, and the great Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee. Family, Father's Day is coming up. How can you not have a couple packets of the great Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee? Also new in the shop, T-shirts with the John Sports Corner and Viacon Diaz logos. And all the items you purchase from the shop come with their respective logos. As usual, we start with birthdays, as yesterday, Charlie Steers, former Guyana and West Indies cricketer, he would have celebrated a birthday, but he represented West Indies in only 4 test matches with an innings best of 3 for 65 against India at Queen's Park Oval. Today, Taekwondo Tracy, a Jamaican Olympian, and a personal best of 9.96 seconds over the 100 meters and 20.34 seconds over the 200 meters. Julian Alfred, the St. Lucia Sprint Queen Olympic gold medalist, a personal best of 10.72 seconds over the 100 meters and 21.71 over the 200 meters. Tomorrow, Jamaica's greatest women's cricketer, Stephanie Taylor, celebrates a birthday. In 161-day international, she scored 5,691 runs, including a top score of 171 against Sri Lanka at Mumbai. And she also has 7 one-day international centuries. On Sunday, Grace Jackson, I like to call her Princess Grace, Jamaica Olympian and world champion medalist of yesteryear, a personal best of 11.08 seconds over the 100 meters, 21.72 seconds over the 200 meters, and 49.57 seconds over the 400. Danny McFarlane, another Jamaica Olympian and world champion medalist, a personal best of 48 seconds over the 400 hurdles and 44.90 seconds in the open 4. On Monday, you know this person, Trevor, very well. Jermaine Hughes celebrates a birthday Monday, former Jamaica international footballer who represented Jamaica 42 times, scoring 12 goals. Then on Tuesday, Nehemiah Perry, former Jamaica and West Indies cricketer. Again, he only played 4 test matches with a best bowling innings of 5 for 70 against Australia at Sabina Park. He also represented West Indies in 21 one-day internationals and had a personal innings best of 3 for 45 against Australia at Queen's Park Oval. Start with track and field as the 6 Diamond League meet in Oslo today. Jamaicans listed to start: Daniel Thomas-Dodd in the women's shot put, Akila Smith in the women's triple jump, Nikisha Price in the women's 400 meters, Jordan Scott and Jaden Hibbert in the men's triple jump, Rochelle Clayton and Antoinette Knight in the women's 400 hurdles, while St. Lucia's sprint queen Julian Alfred goes in the women's 100, and Trinidad and Tobago's Jareem Richards in the men's 200 meters. And Somalian referee Omar Artan has been dropped from the FIFA World Cup referee pool after being denied entry into the United States of America. He was set to be the first Somalian to referee in the World Cup finals. He is the 2025 Confederation of African Football Referee of the Year. FIFA is not involved in host countries' immigration process. And you know, Professor, with so many restrictions and requirements being placed on African teams and teams of color coming to the US for the World Cup, I wonder what would happen what would FIFA do if South Africa, Qatar, Morocco, Haiti, Cote d'Ivoire, which is the Ivory Coast, Tunisia, Egypt, Iran, Cabo Verde, Saudi Arabia, Senegal, Iraq, Algeria, Jordan, Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Ghana decided at the 11th hour to sit out this World Cup. Anyway, Denmark's Christian Eriksen said to be doing well after collapsing in a pre-World Cup friendly against Ukraine a couple days ago. 5 years ago, he suffered cardiac arrest in a European Championship game and was fitted with a type of pacemaker. Our West Indies squad for the Women's T20 World Cup is Hayley Matthews, captain, Chanel Henry, vice-captain, Aline, Charmaine Campbell, Jazara Clarkson, Deandra Dotting, Afi Fletcher, Janila Glasgow, Shornisha Hector, Zayda James, Kiana Joseph, Mandy Mangru, Ashmini Munisar, Karishma Harak, and Safani Taylor. West Indies women opened their World Cup bid against New Zealand June 13th at Southampton. And scores from Game 3 of the Sri Lanka-West Indies one-day series at Sabina Park. Like Game 2, rain, no play. So Sri Lanka win the series 1-0 following their Game 1 win at Sabina Park.
But you know, John, my point is that the rain 1-2-1.
Rain, no play. And a couple of our Hall of Famers were down there for the game, you know, Len Chambers and Clem Thompson.
Oh.
Yeah. And I know Len shared with me a lot of pictures from that game one.
Okay.
But I guess his camera wasn't working for Game 2 and 3.
I wonder what the refund was like for the last game that, you know, that they were waiting around to play, John.
The 2 games, Game 2 and 3, rain, no play.
Yeah, but they look.
In Jamaica, well, they said Jamaica's a land of wood and water, so what do you expect? Well, now it's on to the T20 leg of the Sri Lanka tour with Game 1 at Sabina Park tomorrow. And the West Indies T20 squad is Shea Hope captain, Joel Andrew, Akeem Auguste, Ray Ruston Chase, Matthew Ford, Shimron Hetmeyer, Akil Hussain, Jason Holder, Shamar Joseph, Brandon King, Gudakesh Moti, Ravman Powell, Sharfain Rutherford, Romario Shepard, and Shamar Springer. Game 1 again bowls off at Sabina Park tomorrow. And Jamaica Sunshine Girls in action in the Suncorp Super League Down Under, and this is round 13 scores. Adelaide Thunderbirds with Latanya Wilson and Shamira Sterling Humphrey in a 66-60 win over New South Wales Swifts. Shimona Nelson's Melbourne Mavericks in a 59-50 win over the Melbourne Vixens. while Romelda Aiken-George and Katie Andy Haney's West Coast Fever in a 61-60 win over Giants netball. And that's where we blow the whistle on John Sports Corner for this Wednesday afternoon on the SosoBone Media Network. Again, thanks for joining us, and have your friends lock into John Sports Corner. Tell them we span the sports globe. And remember to go to the Winner Circle store in the SosoBone shop and pick up available merchandise of your choice. Of course, as well as the great Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee. Family, be safe via con Dios.
Hello again, I say welcome. Welcome to the second segment of our program on the SosoBone Media Network. And here again, we say thank you for tuning in. Welcome to all those newcomers, because every week we have newcomers, okay? And I say those who have been sharing and those who have been subscribing, they are really seasoned SosoBone followers right now. So we say thank you for tuning in again to the sports that brings the world to its feet. John Sports Corner. Corner person. And over to you, John.
Thank you, Trevor. Good afternoon, family. Friends, lock into John Sports Corner wherever you are. It might be good night some places, good morning some places, but wherever you are, again, thanks for joining John Sports Corner and visiting and staying with our global weekly update on the SosoBone Media Network, the global Caribbean media capital. Again, let me remind you to go to the Winner Circle Radio store in the SosoBone shop and go gift shopping. There are backpacks, tote bags, mugs, t-shirts, sorrel, and the great Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee. Again, you should by now have a couple packets to wake up Father's Day morning sipping the great Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee. Also in the shop, new are t-shirts with the John Sports Corner and Via Con Dios logos. And depending on what you select from the shop, all the items come with their respective logos. Start with birthdays. Ken Singleton. Who remembers Ken Singleton? Former New York Met, a Montreal Expo, and the longest stint with the Baltimore Orioles, with whom he won the 1983 World Series. He was also a three-time Major League Baseball member of the All-Star team. And in 1986, he was inducted into the Baltimore Orioles Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Track and field news. Several Jamaicans will be flying the heights green and gold in the 2026 NCAA Division I Outdoor Championships, which started today at the Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon. And perhaps topping the list, our last year's discus winner, Ralford Mullings, of the University of Oklahoma, and the University of Georgia's Dejanay Oakley, who was second in the women's 400 last year. Two athletes have qualified for two events. Lemson's Sinead Foreman in the triple jump and long jump. University of Florida's Gabriel Matthews in the 1 and 200 meters. Another interesting development, 6 Jamaicans have qualified for the men's discus and 2 for the javelin. Now, in field events, as far as Jamaica is concerned, the javelin, in my estimation, and pole vault are probably the 2 weakest events for Jamaicans, again, in field events. So it's interesting that we have seen that 2 Jamaicans have qualified for the javelin in the upcoming NCAA Division I championships. The men compete today and Friday, the women Thursday and Saturday. A 16-member West Indies Academy squad is in Sri Lanka for a multiple format series that started June 3rd through the 27th against Sri Lanka's emerging players. And the tour, of course, comprises of two 4-day matches and 3 50-over matches. Now, the opening game is on. And the Sri Lanka emerging players scored 356 runs in their first innings. Anjala Bandara, 163. Nisala Aberatne, 48. Asitha Waninayake, 41. Ryan Bandu, 3 for 45. Johan Lane, 3 for 68. And Jediah Blades, 2 for 83. The West Indies Academy, 381 in their first innings. Rivaldo Clark, 127, who is the captain of the team. Mavendra Dindyal, 60. Shakiri Paris, 55. Shakti Udara, 6 for 102. Kamad Batej, 2 for 65. And Nisala Aberatne, 2 for 76. In their second innings, Sri Lanka emerging players are 173 for 5. Anjala Bandara, 57 not out. Pilindu Pereira, 50 not out. Johan Lane, 3 for 34. Tomorrow is the final day of this game one. The Sri Lanka emerging players lead going into day one by 148 runs with 5 wickets intact. And just for our listeners, our viewers, the squad for the West Indies Academy team is Rivaldo Clark captain, Kevlin Anderson, Ryan Bandu, Jediah Blades, Giovante de Pisa, Mavendra Dindyal, Nathan Edward, Damel Evelyn, Amari Goodrich, Johan Jeremiah, Shakiri Paris, Mbeki Joseph, Johan Lane, Zishan Motara, Kelvin Pittman, and Roniko Smith. The squad actually is in Hambatoya for the 2 4-day matches. Then after the 4-day matches, they go on to Colombia for the white ball series. And the white ball games will be June 22nd, 24th, and 26th. Meanwhile, across the pond, Trevor,
Yes.
talk about hooliganism.
Oh,
England captain Ben Stokes and fast bowler Gus Atkinson will miss the second test in New Zealand at the Oval for breaking the team's midnight curfew in the early hours of Monday morning. Apparently, they were in a bar where some kind of thing went on, Trevor. Anyway, Joe Root will step in as the interim captain for the second test that bowls off June 17th as the selectors overlooked vice captain Harry Blue to fill in for Stokes.
but John, I mean, you're talking about grown men here, John.
Yeah.
Missing the curfew, John.
You know, let me see. It was the last tour, I think, to Australia. There were reports coming out of heavy drinking and stuff with this English team, Trevor. So, and it is interesting that they did not name the vice captain as the captain for that second test. They went back to what's his name? Joe
Root.
Yeah.
What the question done is this: when a team goes out to drinking, like just 2 guys go out to drinking again. But maybe are 2 guys who could not make it to the field.
Or maybe
including,
as I said, some can hold the waters more than some, Trevor.
Including the vice captain.
Well,
because
maybe. I don't know. They didn't say. They just mentioned the captain and Gus Atkinson. Anyway, fast bowler Jofra Archer and Jordan Cox, who's a batsman, have been added to the squad. Jamaica Reggae Girls defeated Panama women 1 goal to 0 in the first of two friendlies on Friday night, and then on Monday they played to a 0-0 stalemate. So Jamaica Reggae Girls have maintained a 4-game unbeaten run against the Panamanian women.
Mm.
And while the candles dim on the careers of Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar, Luka Modric, and Manuel Neuer, the lights are expected to shine on young emerging talent in this FIFA World Cup. And some of those youngsters to watch out for are Algeria's 20-year-old midfielder Ibrahim Meza. He's expected to be the Desert Foxes' future leader.
Aye.
Switzerland's promising dynamic 20-year-old midfielder Johan Manzambi. His ball-carrying ability, composure under pressure, and tactical awareness suggest he has the tools to be a key figure in the Swiss future.
Aye.
Is the left-footed 21-year-old Argentine Nico Paz a Messi clone? We shall see as his career develops, but his skills and vision suggest he could be the Messi successor for Argentina.
Okay.
England's 21-year-old midfielder Nico O'Reilly, another youngster to keep your eyes on this World Cup. While he has not broken through at the senior level yet, his potential is enormous. Then there is the little Mexican Gilberto Mora, only 17, and another attacking midfielder who stands out for his intelligence, creativity, and confidence in possession of the ball. Norway's 21-year-old Antonio Nusa breaks the midfield ice. Ice.
Nice. I don't like the word ice.
He's an explosive winger whose pace, dribbling skills, and fearless approach in one-on-one situations troubles all defenders. It will be interesting to see how well he works with Erling Haaland. And the final jewel of the 2026 Triple Crown Series, the 158th running of the Belmont Stakes, won by Golden Tempo with jockey Jose Ortiz aboard. The second jewel for both horse and jockey this Triple Crown Series. Also, the second Triple Crown win for trainer Sherry DeVoe, making her the first woman trainer to win 2 Triple Crown races in the same year. Jockey Jose, the jockey of Golden Tempo, of course, Jose Ortiz, also winning the Belmont, was his second Belmont win, having won the 2017 Belmont aboard Patriot. The Belmont returns to Belmont Park next year. You know, Trevor?
Yes.
A few years ago, oh Lord, my memory is bad. Who was it? There was a horse going into the Belmont after winning the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness, another one of those super horses, and he ran Bold. No, not Bold. Was it? No, not Bold Forbes. Was it Bold Forbes? No. His name slips me now. But that Saturday morning, he had to go out. And in coming back, I said to myself, let me drive by Belmont to see what is going on. And this was at about 10 o'clock in the morning, Trevor. You know, it took me an hour to get from where I was to where I need to turn off. Because police had made certain traffic restrictions along the way, and traffic was backed up eternally. And I said to myself, curiosity kills the cat. Anyway, Trevor, that's where I shut the gates on John Sports Corner for this Wednesday afternoon on the SosoBone Media Network. Again, thanks for joining us, and have your friends check out John Sports Corner. Tell them we span the sports globe every Wednesday afternoon. And remember to go to the Winner Circle Sports Store in the SosoBone shop and go gift shopping. Again, family, be safe the rest of this week and the weekend. Vaya con Dios.
Gentlemen, it's time to go home. Again, I say welcome to John Sports Corner as we take you down the road. Fracas or no fracas, curfew or no curfew. On John Sports Corner, you hear about the details of what's happening behind the curtains. So again, I say welcome. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for tuning in again to John Sports Corner. Let me turn you over now to none other than the Honorable inductee into the First World Cricket Hall of Fame, host of the John Sports Corner, none other than the Honorable John Melbourne.
Of course, I know Trevor started with Gentleman, Time to Go Home, which is really how my former club captain spoke when he spoke speaking to a group. We went somewhere and it's time for us to leave. He would say, "Gentlemen, it's time to go home." Anyway, Trevor, thank you. Good afternoon, family and friends, locked into John Sports Corner. Again, thank you for visiting and staying with our global weekly sports update on the SosoBone Media Network, the global Caribbean media capital. Let me remind you to go to Winner Circle Radio Store in the SosoBone shop and go gift shopping.
Oh, yes.
Several items there: backpacks, tote bags, mugs, sorrel, t-shirts, and certainly the great Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee. And again, I say to you, Father's Day is coming up in another week or so.
Mm-hmm.
You should have packets of the great Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee to wake up to Father's Day morning.
And you know, John, when you bring that coffee, you know, if there's any mosquitoes in the house, head for the door, you know.
let me get out of here. You know, let's go to birthdays quickly. Sabrina Monroe, former Guyana and West Indies women's cricketer. She played in 23 women's one-day internationals and 21 women's T20 internationals for West Indies.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that's how we start with cricket, as there'll be 4 teams in the Women's Caribbean Premier League this year, with the addition of the Jamaica Empress. What a name, Jamaica Empress. Along with Barbados Tridents, the Guyana Amazon Warriors, and the Trinbago Knight Riders.
Mm-hmm.
All the games will be played in Barbados between September 5th and the 17th. The Jamaica Empresses open against the Guyana Amazon Warriors on September 6th, while the Barbados Tridents take on the Trinbago Knight Riders in the season opener on the 5th. The New York State High School, or should I say New York City, High School cricket final scheduled for Baisley Park in Queens this Saturday. Martin Van Buren awaits the winner of tomorrow's semifinal between Thomas Edison and John Brown. Thank you so much, Hall of Famer Bassett Thompson, for that information. And in football news, Dutch defender Jurin Timber has been ruled out of the World Cup with a groin injury and replaced by Lotcharel Gertruda. He has been capped 23 times by the Netherlands and made his debut in June of 2021. Can you imagine, Trevor? You get selected to play for the World Cup, and you get injured in a pre-World Cup warm-up game that knocked you out of the World Cup.
Oh my goodness. You can't, you can't forgive your captain for that.
Not even the captain fault. It's just how things work. I'll never forget, Trevor. One of the things I always wanted to do when I played little football was to play in Montego Bay.
Uh-huh.
And we had a friendly game coming up. Um, and I was in pretty good shape at the time
Mm.
and looking forward to that game. And I think it was a Wednesday afternoon, I twisted my ankle.
Uh,
And I said, oh my goodness, and I wanted to play Saturday so bad.
mm.
But then I went home and I had weights at home that I used to use every evening after football training.
Mhm.
And I went home and I started debating, can I use the weights? So I decided, let me do some leg exercises with these weights. So I did the Wednesday, I did the Thursday, and
Mhm.
by Friday morning I get up, my ankle feel good.
Oh, yes.
you know, I
Hallelujah.
said, ready to play. Anyway, Trevor, there's a push now geared at development of women's football in Jamaica
Uh-huh.
over the next 5 years to coincide with Jamaica co-hosting the 2031 FIFA Women's World Cup.
Uh,
The strategy, which was unveiled on Monday, was a collaborative effort between the executives of FIFA, the Jamaica Football Federation, and Professional Women's Football Jamaica Limited, and outlines several key objectives to be achieved by 2031. There are 7 major pillars in the strategic plan: governance and leadership, grassroots development, competitions and pathway, technical development, national teams, commercial sustainability, and capacity building welfare.
uh,
And it's so ironic that this has come out now, Trevor, because in the last couple of weeks, I have been trying ardently to get some of the people who play women's football, the clubs,
uh-huh.
to come on this program and talk about the development of women's football in Jamaica. And hopefully I will have someone on maybe in the next couple of weeks or so.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, moving
I,
on to track and field.
I think, with Bunny out there, bringing high profile interest, attention to Jamaican playing soccer, that it might be quite a receptive in the endeavor. I would hope that my friend, the Honorable Bob the Grange, might think in terms of bringing Bunny Shaw when the season is over, to and passing and let her tour the schools, high schools especially, meet the girls, motivate the girls, John. Those are some of the things that can be done, you know, to create interest and to promote the development of the game.
Trevor, as we have said many times on this program, and others are saying it now, sports has to be a separate ministry
Yes,
in Jamaica.
yes,
Sports is too important. It is also a money maker and has to be recognized as such. Um, and have it as a separate ministry so they can focus on the development of at least of our football, netball, particularly netball and football.
yes,
Track and field have their thing, and um, it is time that we see the same kind of development with our female, especially our female, well, the football period, male and female. But I think more focus now they have to start paying more attention to the development of our female footballers. They
yes,
are there. The talent is there.
yes. True.
Anyway, moving on to some track and field news, as we have some podium places in today's Oslo Diamond League meet. From Jamaica, Jordan Scott won the triple jump with a leap of 17.66 meters. Rochelle Clayton was second in the women's 400 hurdles, and her time was 53.50 seconds.
Okay.
St. Lucia Sprint Queen Julian Alfred won the women's 100 in 10.76 seconds, while Trinidad and Tobago's male sprinter Jereme Richards was third in the men's 200 in 20.50 seconds. And the 2026 Netball Jamaica Red Stripe Flavor Elite League got going last weekend. Manchester Spurs off to a winning start, defeating Kingston Hummingbirds 59-36, and also the St. Catherine Racers 66-48, while the Kingston Hummingbirds defeated Jace Risers 50-46. Now, the Jace Risers are the CAC, the team that is expected to represent Jamaica in the Central American and Caribbean games. So they are using this Red Stripe Elite League to prepare them for the CAC competition. And we move on to cricket history, as today we look back at the career of Dilip Vengsarkar, who represented India in 116 test matches and 129 one-day internationals. As a teenager, he showed a lot of potential, but didn't establish himself as a number 3 batsman in the Indian Test team until 1977-78 tour of Australia. He is probably best remembered for being the first to score 3 centuries against England at Lord's. Against West Indies in Calcutta 1978-79 series, he scored 157 not out, while sharing in an unbroken second wicket partnership of 344 with Sunil Gavaskar. He scored 6,868 test runs, including 17 test centuries, with a top score of 166 against Sri Lanka at Cuttack. He scored only 1 century in one-day international cricket, which was 105 against England at Pune. And before I close, let me remind you, Saturday, October 3rd, the 45th Cricket Hall of Fame induction ceremony at the Marriott Hotel in Windsor, Connecticut. Of course, you know, the Cricket Hall of Fame is the first Cricket Hall of Fame established in the world. Among the nominees for induction this year are Jamaica Cricket Association President Dr. Donovan Bennett, former Kingston College cricketer Patrick Hamilton, who dedicated his life essentially to cricket in Connecticut, and chairman of Sierra Leone Cricket, Francis Trevor Samura. Again, for tickets, you can call 860-847-5012. That's 860-847-5012. Or you can go to crickethof.org and purchase tickets.
Yes.
That's where I draw stumps on John Sports Corner this Wednesday afternoon on the SosoBone Media Network. Again, family, thanks for joining us. Have your friends check out John Sports Corner. Tell them we span the sports globe. Remember to go to Winner's Circle store, sports store in the SosoBone shop and go gift shopping. Family, the Great Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee is in the shop, and you should have a couple packets for your Father's Day breakfast. Be safe, family.